Hi there, my name's Jeremy.
And I'm Matt Regis.
And we are doing our Creative Expressions project on
this fabulous Here's What We'll Say book by Reichen Lemkool.
Indeed.
So we're going to go over the approaches of the author, the meaning, and then the author himself. And I just adore this guy, so it's going to be great. I know you'll love it.
He's a genius, creative genius.
So, the overall message of the book, I thought it was a message of tolerance. I mean, that's what it is. Regardless of how Reichen goes about, Lemko, I should call him Lemkool, goes about presenting this message, it's still saying that we should tolerate gay people in the military. This is an act against...
And in general, I think.
Yeah, like, it's a civil rights violation. These are people, and they're not allowed to serve in the military. They're discriminated against. That's what it's about. I
agree. The book is, largely, I think the ultimate message of the book is one of tolerance, like Matt said. I can definitely get behind that message. I don't think it's right to persecute anyone simply for their lifestyles, you know, especially since what he's doing is not hurting anybody. And he himself was very much hurt by what people did to him. So I think it's really sad that happened, and I'm glad he was able to write this book to draw attention to what happens to people in those sorts of situations. So I think it's a
book. I'm not glad at all he wrote. I mean, there's many other ways he could have presented this.
Okay, I'm glad that the message got out there.
All right.
Because I agree, the book itself was... It's a little weak.
Yeah,
weak sauce.
Stylistically, it's not very well written.
Exactly. He really should have gotten a ghostwriter for this, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
While it's easy to understand, I'll give him that. It just doesn't seem that he presents any sort of artistic sense in it, and like the editing at times in the book isn't the best.
It's true, and sometimes he even comes off as a bit whiny.
Yeah, more than a bit whiny.
It's true. His own personal style, while it may work audibly, like if he said all these things, it may have come across correctly, but with book, it's just the tones. Like you don't have the inflections and everything that you would get when someone talks. So in the book, the reader is left to provide their own inflections, and the words themselves do come off as a bit whiny. And
it comes off really
really whiny in some sections.
Even unnecessary. Here, this struck me as really unnecessary. He's in grade school, beginning the book, and he's discussing the bullying that went on, which is obviously horrible, but here's his take on 7th and 8th grade. I need to find some personal closure on Justin Gibson and Geoff DeVille, my respective 7th and 8th grade bullies. My theory is that both these guys must have been gay, and probably still are now. Because they are both attractive, even gorgeous, they were most likely often approached by both male and female admirers with fond looks and compliments in middle school. This constant attention must have made them sensitive to who was attracted to them, causing them to face their own feelings of attraction toward the same and opposite sexes more intensely than an average-looking person might. Their feelings of attraction were already developing towards women and men. This early attraction to men made them feel angry and insecure, which translated into a need to harass someone they sensed was also gay, whom they could pick on fearlessly. On top of this, I believe they were both very threatened by how much of themselves they saw in me. They must have felt the need to point out my sensitivity and crush it in a public way to make them feel better about their own latent homosexuality. Even if today they're both married with 7 children each, regardless of their present lifestyles, I believe they're both probably gay, always were, and always will be.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say his logic there does not make a whole lot of sense. First of all, like you pointed out, he does appear to be trying to say that in 7th and 8th grade, these guys were being approached by members of both sexes, telling them just how good looking they were. That doesn't even sound, because you realize, like, thinking, little kids don't do that. Little kids play games when they like someone else. They don't just come up and tell them, I think you're attractive. So this is probably adults. Yeah, especially in middle school. So this is apparently adults are doing this to these kids, in which case we have a serious problem. I think if members of both genders are just coming up to them, and just hitting on them openly. Unless these guys both look a lot older than they actually were.
Yeah, but how does Lemcool come to these conclusions? Is he a psychologist? Does he have a degree in psychology? No, it's all just speculation. His speculation. Essentially what he's saying, if you're picking on someone for one of their attributes, you embody that attribute yourself. Like, if I was picking on someone who I think is gay, then I'm gay myself.
Well, of course. But the thing is, I can personally relate to that.
No, that doesn't make sense.
And for those of you who don't know, I actually used to be white. For about the first 12 to 13 years of my life, I was white. And I used to spend most of my time making fun of black people, hating black people. I was an active member of the KKK. And around the age of 12 and a half, I realized that the reason that I hated these black people so much was because I identified with them. And members of both races would come to me and tell me that I was attractive.
In middle school?
Oh, in elementary school. I had black people coming up to me saying, "Right on, brother." And then I had white people coming up to me saying, "You're very attractive." So I was confused. But at the age of 12 and a half, I did come to the conclusion that I was in fact black, and I have been black ever since.
There you have it. So, what do we actually know about the author, Reichen Lemcool? Well, first off, his name isn't Reichen. It's Richard. He changed it in some I don't know why.
I'm not really sure. Maybe he likes Reichen better than Richard.
Yeah,
it's his own prerogative to change his name.
It sounds very German. I mean, Reichen Lemcool is a German name, but
it's true. Maybe he was trying to get more in touch with his German heritage.
With Reich. I just pray he's not the third in his family. Reichen the third.
The third Reich. The third Reichen.
He's a porn star. I thought that was hilarious. He published a Beefcake magazine where he displays all these really, really exposing photos of a beautiful body. Yes, of himself. Like, I found it very attractive.
I would agree. He actually is a good-looking guy.
No, he is a good. I mean,
he does. And when I first saw it, I thought he might have been Tom Hardy from Inception, but he's not.
But so he published a Beefcake magazine. But more than that, he used to host an X-rated video chat with anonymous users on cam4.com.
Hey, I mean, if that's what floats your boat, there are plenty of straight people that do that too.
For those of us who don't know what cam4.com is, I had to look it up myself because I'm not a habitual user of cam4. It is a video hosting site for chat, and it's a sex site.
Basically.
It hosts, like straight video chat, gay video chat, she-mail video chat.
I don't know. I still don't know what a she-mail is.
It's better you don't. Also, recently in April, he posted a video of him masturbating online. And he openly admitted about it. Like,
who hasn't done that at some point or another?
That's his argument. That's what he says online. He comments about this video, or like naked pictures of him online, that he's just doing what other gay men probably do. And that actually kind of abhors me, because, well, that's a terrible representation of the gay community, and this is not helping the civil rights movement for gay people. So that's what we know about Reichen. His name isn't Reichen, and he's a porn star. Which leads me to think, why is this book in our class?
That was one question I had. I don't think it's necessarily... Okay, first of all, in terms of writing style, I know we've been hating on the guy for his writing style and stuff like that. He should have gotten a ghostwriter, or maybe just done an interview or something, because I think his message is good. But his writing style was bad. However, I don't see what the book necessarily has to do with the class that we're in, which is supposed to help us to learn how to adjust to Stony Brook.
Exactly.
I don't anticipate facing the kind of things that he faced. Just, I don't see that coming, unless that's what they're trying to imply. So in that sense, I think the book would be better suited to something like maybe a gender studies class, or some kind of
civil rights movement, perhaps.
Yeah, or something more related to the subject. But I guess you can definitely say it did stimulate, a lot of conversation. It was
Yeah,
it was pretty,
that's what it does.
Yeah.
That's the answer I got from my teacher.
Yeah.
That the book was there to not for any direction or moral they're trying to teach, but just to provide, for better or for worse, stimulating conversation.
I thought it was very stimulating.
So, what did we learn? What is the moral of this story?
The moral of the story is to hire someone else to tell your story if you cannot tell it that well. I think it's a good story that it's out there, but I think there were better ways to present it. And I mean, whatever the guy's personal life is, he's obviously gone through a lot, and I feel bad for him.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's gone through horrible, horrible things in the U.S. military and as a child, as we can tell from this book. And we can.
And I also think it's kind of shameful that the people within the U.S. military
it's horrible.
are treated
It's
that way.
horrible.
No one should be treated
He
that
says
way.
this is the last civil rights violation. He's right. Gay people shouldn't be treated this way.
No one should be treated
and that
way.
a message of tolerance, despite its origins, can still get through and provide a good moral message for the world. And I think it is a positive message to teach people tolerance. I mean, it's tolerance.
It's true, but I do think it would have been better as maybe the subject, if he'd been on Oprah and told his story, although he probably couldn't have said some of these things on Oprah. Or maybe done sort of a television special, aired on something like that, or hired someone else to write the story for him. Like Andre Agassi, he published an autobiography, but he himself did not write it. He had a ghostwriter who wrote the book for him. And the book ended up turning out amazing. And he has a great story, but the writing style was a lot better than it was in this book. And I think he has an amazing story, but it's just his writing style completely undermines the message for me.
So, is that all you got? That's all I got.
Yeah, I think in the end, I guess it was a positive experience to learn the story. Too bad about the quality of the book itself, but yeah, it was definitely interesting.
Messages of tolerance can survive a lot against all odds. It can survive anything. It can survive the Third Reich, which is Richard Lemkool. I'm gonna look into what possessed him to change his name.
Yep.
Well, so I suppose this concludes our video chat, our creative expressions assignment. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yep.
Matt Regis.
Jeremy Cobb, signing off. Have a nice day.
Pizza!